This is another entry in our series, Glossary of Chassidic Terms. And this is Adam Kadmon, this is Ak, part 2. In the previous entry, I made the point of saying that Adam Kadmon is called Olam Kloli, it's a klal. And klal puts it in between, it's framed in between what's called prat, which is lower, and pshitus, which is higher. The Maimorim bring, and they make it sound like it's a very, very big chiddush in Kabbalah, even though they bring Eitz Chaim as a source, as if it's some very novel, radical idea. That Ak is divided into two. Pnimius Ak and Chitzenius Ak, the inner aspect of Ak and the outer aspect of Ak. Now remember, we've already established that Ak is both Adam, which means Mechudesh, and Kadmon, which means Kadmon. So now we're adding to this dichotomy, to this duality, Pnimius and Chitzenius. Chitzenius Ak is called Narnach, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya. All four levels, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, are included in the Chitzenius of Ak, and accordingly they're included in what we call the Klal of Ak, and accordingly they are connected to Zman, to time, as I explained at the end of the previous entry. Pnimius Ak it's like Atika, the Ak, which is like the Madrega of Yechida. Usually when you separate Pnimius from Chitzonius, higher levels from lower levels, the division would be Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama would be lower, and Chaya Yechida would be higher. By Ak, I'm not sure the reason, but Nefesh, Neshama, and Chaya are both considered, or all considered Chitzonius, and only Yechida is called Pnimius. And I suspect the reason this is because in Ak, it's not only Kalim that are Chitzonius, it's Oir which is Chitzonius. As long as the Oir is in a way of Gilui, it's already included in Chitzonius, and it's already connected to the idea of Klal. The Pnimius of Ak is called Atika de Le'elam Gugalta de Ak. Atik de Ak. Atika de Le'elam Gugalta de Ak is connected to Kav, and more specifically to people who are familiar with these ideas, to what's called Pnimius HaKav. The only way for me to explain this, that I'll feel like I'm getting something across, is that Pnimius Ak, Atik of Ak, is Atmos of Ein Sof. What this means is this. In general, in Ein Sof, there's three levels, like the Rebbe says in the first Maimer. There's the level of Ein Sof which is Gilui, which goes through the Tzimtzum. There's a level of Ein Sof which is Helim, which is called Naga by Tzimtzum. And there's the level of Ein Sof which is called Etzem, which is Lei Naga by Tzimtzum Klal. In other words, it's not the Eibishter, it's the Eibishter's Oyer, but it's the Eibishter's Oyer in a state of Helim by Etzem. Kvayachal, like the Moyer. It's not at all Gilui, it's not at all Ispashtas. It's called Atmos of Ein Sof. Atmos of Ein Sof is Lei Naga by Tzimtzum Klal. That means Atmos of Ein Sof is godliness that is just the way it would be if there was no concept of a relationship whatsoever, and it exists every year without any change whatsoever. It's similar to, though not identical with, the idea of Hamoy Hu B'His Galus. Atmos of Ein Sof is revealed, but nobody sees it. Nobody sees it because it's not being shown, but it's revealed because in no way is any effort being made for it to be hidden. It is just what it is. And Atmos of Ein Sof exists everywhere. The level of Ein Sof, which is higher than Helim, and higher than Gilin, higher than Helim, exists everywhere without any Shinui. And it comes after the Tzimtzum, just like it was before the Tzimtzum, and the Tzimtzum makes absolutely no change in it. Lei Naga by Tzimtzum. And this is the concept of Pnimius Atik, of Pnimius Ak. Pnimius Ak has an aspect of godliness that comes after the Tzimtzum, from the Kav, which is godliness in a totally unchanged way. And of course, this godliness which exists in Pnimius Ak then comes down throughout all of the levels of Seder Ishtalshlus, and in each place the same principle applies, that there's no change in it whatsoever. It exists just the way it is, And like I said before, there's no concept of Gila, there's no concept of Helim, it just is. It's completely available, but in order for us to relate to it, we're not going to be able to relate to it through the conventional ideas of Helim and Gilui, because it's beyond that completely. In general, from Atik of Ak, from Pnimius Ak, you have Neshamas Yisrael, and in a different way you have Torah and Mitzvahs. And from Chitzenius of Ak, you have Elamis, and you have Malachim, and you have all other things. But naturally, the way these things are in Ak, where everything is in a very, very high state of Elokus, these differences are not yet so obvious and so plain. Meaning to say that the way Neshamas Yisrael and Torah and Mitzvahs, each one in its own way, is going to come through Hishtalshalus. In every world and in every level, they're going to be associating also to Pnimius Avatik, Pnimius Avak. And the Elamis themselves are going to be relating only to Chitzenius Avak. This is my first point that I wanted to say about Ak. The second point I wanted to say about Ak is that in the Maimorim they bring from Kabbalah, of course, that there's a variety of different things that have to do with characteristics of Ak that relate to the lower worlds. And in general there are three. This was called Einayim of Ak, the eyes of Ak. Achap of Ak, Oizen Chaytem Peh, which means the ears, the nose, and the mouth of Ak. And the lowest madrek is called Mitzcha, the Ak, the forehead of Ak. The concept of the eyes are the way Ak is revealed without a tzimtzum. The way Ak is revealed, like eyes revealed, but closest to the madreg of Chaya. If I understand it correctly, the concept of Einayim of Ak would be a concept of Gilui, but a concept of Gilui that's higher than a Keli, a concept of Gilui that's higher than Chochmah. The mashal for this would be like one person looks into the other person's eyes. In general, when someone sees something, it's higher than someone hears something and understands something. And when one person looks into another person's eyes, the bonding that takes place through the eyes is the deepest kind of bonding that could be, assuming that the two individuals are not finding a space where they're one. In other words, there's a level where two people can bond because they have a unity inside. That would be like Yechidah. In the level where they're bonding, but they're remaining two, but they're bonding on the highest level, is one person's eyes looking into the eyes of the other person. And the eyes of Ak are the source of Elam HaKudim. Then there's Achap, Oizen Chaytem Peh, the ear, nose, and throat, as it were. And this is the source of Elam HaKudim, which we also call Elam HaToyu, or Sag, and they're also called Havalim. Hevel means something that has no substance. The concept of Hevel means that what's being radiated from the source, in this case Ak, to the lower level is a perfect reflection of what Ak is, but without any depth. Just like in general, the concept of light is only a reflection, and the reflection is a perfect reflection of the source, but none of the source is in it. The Achap, the Oizen Chaytem Peh, the concept of the nose and ears and mouth, is that there's a Gilui that comes from Ak, which completely revealed what Ak is, but it's only the revelation of what Ak is and not the substance of what Ak is. So on the one hand it's infinite, and on the other hand it lacks a depth, so it has a certain aspect of superficiality. And that's why this is a mashal of Elam HaToyu, or Elam HaKudim. The light is very, very high. It's an infinite light, but it's lacking a depth. And the last concept of what comes from Ak is called Mitzcha. The Ak Metzach means the forehead. The forehead and the two cheeks on a face are considered the part of the face that hide, that you see nothing. It's a screen, it blocks, as opposed to the eyes and the ears and nose and the mouth, which are large holes, sheftim v'sheitim titin l'cha b'chol sharecha, and on a lower level, the hair and the beard, which are like thin straws that have a tiny hole. But the forehead and the cheeks completely hide what's going on behind. So Metzach of Ak, the forehead of Ak, represents the maximum concealment of Ak, And what's coming through the Metzach to the opposite side, what has to, so to speak, break through the concealment of the Metzach, comes through from Ak b'Shinei Mahus in a way which is categorically changed. That's why it's considered the lowest level of Ak, because it's not how Ak is revealing something, it's how Ak is hiding, and it's, so to speak, coming through in spite of the fact that Ak is trying to hide it. However, it's brought in Chassidus that although on the one hand the Metzach of Ak represents godliness which is concealed by Ak and has to come through a Mechitza, and it comes b'Shinei Mahus, its depth is much, much deeper. In other words, even though it's coming in a way that it's completely changed from the way it's in its source, it's carrying with it the depth, the integrity of the source. And this is called Ma. And this is called the source of Olam Atzilus, or Tikkun, whose greatest strength is not in how great it is, but in how dedicated it is to the purpose and to the source, which is the concept of Bittul. So Einayim of Ak, the eyes of Ak, are revealing everything that Ak is able to reveal. And it's revealed in a great depth to the world after it, which is Elam HaKudim. The Achap of Ak, the Havolim of Ak, are revealing everything that Ak is able to reveal, but it's only in a way of Ha'ara, it's only Chitzonius. The depth of what Ak is not being communicated, and this is source of Sag, or Elam HaToyu. And the Metzach of Ak is the source of Ma, of the deepest bittul, and in certain aspects, what comes through the Metzach of Ak that's revealed in Ma, which is Elam Atzilos, is not only higher than Achap, than the Avolim the Ak, it's also higher than the Einayim of Ak, because the Ma, even though it's coming through a screen, and it's coming in a way that it's a new Metzias, it's a Shin HaMahus, but it's carrying with it the etzem of what Ak is. That means its dedication to the purpose, to the point of the creation, which is what the bittul of Ma is.